It's a pleasure to have you today. I'm sitting with Aunt Ethne Jane Cameron, born and bred in South Africa, but like she's lived half her life here with us in White River. If you didn't know her, you're about to meet her, and she's known you longer than you think. Hello, Aunt Ethne.
Hello, Moose.
How are you, ma?
I'm exceptionally well and very happy to be with you.
And I'm excited to have you here with us. We are so privileged and humbled to have you come all the way to Kapogweni, Ngodini Stadium. We've got Elijah Mango in the background. We've got Gotlangalo halfway. You know what? It's beautiful. And you've got a huge history with us here in Kapogweni, Zwelisha, you name it. But let's talk about your special relationship with EJ Mabuza.
That's
funny enough. You are also she's EJ Cameron, but Ethne Jane Cameron met Enos J Mabuza. Please tell me about that gentleman.
Do you know, I can't even remember where we met.
Yes.
We met, I can't even remember.
Yes.
But he became so much part of who I am today. He really did. He was an incredible man.
Yes.
For those that don't know him, he was humble. His integrity was phenomenal. He loved this country and he loved the people here with an absolute passion. So your schools, etc., that you have are all very much thanks.
I can attest to that.
Thanks to him.
And I believe he had an opportunity to build a luxurious hospitality accommodation space for Kangwane back then, but he chose to divert that budget.
He did.
Into building Central High School in Kanyamazane.
He did.
He was a man who felt very, very fond of the future generation of the country.
Yeah. Not only that, he was also asked, if you think back to those days of homelands, everybody had a casino, remember?
Yeah,
everybody did.
Yeah,
Enos said, don't you dare bring a casino anywhere near my area. He said, what I'd like to do is to start game reserves. And that is where Bongani came in, and that is where that beautiful Songomvela near Botplas, he developed both of those together with the two boys from Londolozi.
Yes.
They gave him the advice on the reintroduction of animals.
Yes.
And Bongani was incredibly successful. Songomvela hasn't lifted off, which is sad because it's spectacular. But
another thing that
he felt that would give his people more
income, value,
exactly, create good jobs.
Yes.
And if you think of it, it has.
Yes.
Because it's given the people of this area, there's so much love for nature.
Yes, there is.
There is, and it's thanks to him, really. He's a wonderful man. Loved him.
Love for nature. You have had a huge role to play in the tourism sector. Talking about Going Africa, formed in 1993. How has the journey been in the tourism industry here in Mpumalanga for you?
I don't think many of your viewers know where SA Air Link started.
We don't know.
SA Air Link, this beautiful airline that really is Mpumalanga's. It really is. It started, how old was I? I was 26. I'm now 75.
Yes.
I was 26. It started with a little 6-seater Cessna aircraft operated out of Johannesburg by Captain Jack Andrew. And on this side was Peter Farquhar. Both of them, unfortunately, of course, have gone.
Yes.
But those two started this little airline. They had this vision of bringing people into, it was then called the Lothar.
Oh, wow.
And Jack used to fly every day from Johannesburg with this little 6-seater. And Peter used to fly as well. It was this tiny little aircraft. I started with Peter Farquhar here, and a friend of mine, Josie, started with Jack in Joburg. So the four of us actually were instrumental in starting it in the formation. And it went from, we built it up to a very successful little airline. And we had Chieftains, 9-seater, and then it went up to Metroliners. And then the company was sold to Metavia, and it's Metavia that has taken it forward. And they have, I think John Biscoby is still involved.
Are you kidding me?
And the most beautiful thing for me, the lady that I employed as our tea lady when I was so young, and employed Tandi as our tea lady.
Yes.
She retired out of Air Link.
Yes.
Handling all the finances of Air Link for Mpumalanga.
Wow.
Yeah. The girl that we hired to be our little airport girl, she was she still is beautiful. June, John, she lives in Nelspruit.
Yes.
She was this young 16-year-old sexy
Yes.
little bird that was at the airport and
Yes.
met everybody, and she ended her career. She retired 2 years ago as the
Wow.
operations manager.
Wow.
And
that's how
but
as
its little start was
It
that
is.
tiny little aircraft
Yes.
that bumbled backwards and forwards that we loved so much.
The Lowveld has always been precious.
It
has
has.
always been the
It has.
destination to be
It
at.
has.
And
It
here
has.
we are, we live in the Lowveld, and we don't understand
Yeah.
that we live in a place that has always been treasured by the world, the people
It
out
has.
there to come and
It
sit
has.
in.
It has. It
You
has.
went on to host conferences,
Well,
international conferences, and give the likes of the Triple S Jazz Band opportunity to perform for international audiences. How has that been?
Yes, I loved it.
Mm.
I loved every single minute of it. It's hard work conferencing. It is hard work. And we were doing it in conjunction with Going Africa. So we
Yes.
were doing leisure tourism and conferencing.
Yes,
But gosh, it was challenging.
I can imagine.
I think each part of my life, from the airline, I got bored in the airline because it's just one structure. So I went into travel agency and then started our own travel agency eventually. We had 4 offices in South Africa, one in Maputo, we had one in Ermelo here. So after in the travel agency game also it became too familiar, so I started conferencing.
Yes.
And so it's all been,
I like
so I've
that.
gone right through the whole genre of
I like
tourism.
that. I like
but I've
that.
loved it. Moose, to actually turn 75 and only retire now.
Yes.
Because I need to retire now. So I find that I can't remember as well as I used to. So I thought, no, stop while you're here.
Okay.
I've loved every single minute of my life, and of course shared it with such a wonderful man. So together it's been, but I think what's made both Malcom and my life, actually, sorry, I'm just thinking, what's made both of our lives the best has been our involvement with Enos and our involvement with the people of our country.
I like that.
I can't begin to tell you. Do you remember the songbirds?
The singing waiters.
The singing waiters.
Okay, let's talk about the singing waiters.
That was amazing too. You know, so it's the Triple S band,
Guys,
the singing.
I have to tell the story. So you've got Aunt Ethne who visits Mfundi Njobo High School, who visits Zosha Primary School, and comes with an idea of taking the Mfundi Njobo High School singing group and exposing them to the tourism industry. I swear, you had grade 10s, grade 11, grade 12s, practicing once or twice a week. In the weekend, dressing up in Choma tuxedo, blue black tuxedos. I was responsible for picking them up,
Yes.
taking them to the event where Aunt Eth would have organized these international audiences to watch them. They would sing, walking with a tray. Get paid. They got paid. Get paid, go back to school on Monday feeling like celebrities because they've been to this place with wife. So I like that.
I love that.
But from
I
that
love
corporate management of things to that social involvement, how did you manage to divide yourself, man, to be so understanding of these young kids from Ekasi who are like, we're all over the place, and then you're like, come on guys, the guests are here, let's go sing. You managed to divide your time and your will to see things happen. How did you do that?
Because you just have a love of people. And if you've got that love, you have it too, Musa. You have exactly the same. It's a love of the human race, and how I wish so many more people would do that, because the more you give, the more you get back, huh? And the more you involved in development and understanding, I just loved it. I loved it.
So you were so patient with us.
I loved them. I loved
we
it.
were such a nonsense. Sometimes we were late. Sometimes someone would come with the wrong shoes, and now the guests are standing there like, no problem. Oh, they're wonderful. I remember you invited. She invited the singing waiters, which was a group of young people from Zwelisha and Klaklau, boys, girls, seniors in high school. They were invited to go and perform at Kishani Game Lodge. Kishani, opposite the Mpumalanga Crew and Mpumalanga International Airport. There's a beautiful game lodge, the game reserve. It was a wedding buffet.
Oh yes.
A wedding under a tree, a huge tree. And now you've got these young people from Zwelisha dressed up in royal blue and black outfits. They were amazing. And Aunt Ethne was very instrumental in taking talent raw from the township and just, fine-tune the edges and put it in a very, very high standard class, high-class platform. And that's why we're here today, because he has been instrumental in so many. And Eth, you were there when they opened the Elijah Mango.
I was.
Tell me about Elijah Mango.
Enos was so proud of it. He really was. There's a man by the name of, that,
Yes.
Elijah Mango. He was crippled,
Yes.
but he was an amazing man. He really was an amazing man. So he was there. And it was a fantastic celebration, because that was the finance of that, I believe, from Enos, came from England. The finance of that, not from Pretoria. And it was fantastic. It was this incredible celebration of a new teachers training college to be opened, because the whole world knew that the education system in this country was then shocking. There were two levels. It was a level for black folk and a level for white folk. And I can still remember Sylvie's son. He was such a bright kid. He was her senior son. Even he got involved in burning down schools, and I couldn't blame him, because he came out of school. Gosh, he was so bright, and all he wanted to do was be an electrical engineer. I'm going to take the world by storm. So we had him interviewed by Eskom. The head of Eskom was one of our clients, and Malcom asked, please, if he would interview him. And this chap was such a nice man. I can't remember his name. He's an Afrikaans chap. He said, I hate to tell you this, but this child's education level is on the standard of a white child of about 9.
Oh, no.
And Malcolm said, no. And he said, I'm afraid so. He said, the level of their education is so low. So the rest of the world knew that. Enos knew that. And slowly we're getting there now. We are getting there. We are getting there. But it was a vision from Mrs. Thatcher in England, in conjunction with Enos. If you remember, Thabo Mbeki was in exile in England, so he was very friendly with Maggie Thatcher, and he made the introduction possible with Enos Mabuza. But Musa, in all our years of being very close friends, we did all the work for Kangwani. Enos passed a law that if any invoice came in and was not a low-felt travel invoice, it was not going to be paid. Wow. Because SAR&H was the government travel desk, and they handled all the homelands.
Yes.
And Enos said, not a chance.
Yes.
You're not handling mine.
Yeah.
Low-felt travel will do it. So I was so privileged to work with him.
Wow.
And to work with Kangwani. Do all of their travel. He was such a wise man. If the ministers didn't get on, one trip stands out for me. It was the Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Basilela.
Thank you. And the Minister of, it was Zita. What was he? The Minister of Agriculture was.
I'm not sure.
Whatever Zita was.
Yeah.
They didn't get on very well. So, and they just kept on fighting. So Enos phoned me the one day and he said, I need you to organize an official trip, which meant going into the governments in Pretoria and saying, I'm sending a delegation from the Kangwani government. I loved it. I used to go up and go, hi, I'm very important. I'm from White River. My company is Low-Felt Travel.
Yeah.
My company is Low-Felt Travel. And we're sending Mr. Mabuza is sending a little delegation to your country.
Yes.
It'll be based around agriculture.
Yes.
And it'll be, I can't remember what it was, medical, I can't remember.
Okay.
But whatever it was.
Yeah.
And the embassy would put the trip together.
Yes.
Okay. So they would arrive as official. It would be an official trip.
Yes.
So off they'd go, the two of them, whoever didn't get on. Together within those days, they each had a secretary from Pretoria, and they were all white.
Yes.
And they all fell in love with their ministers.
Yes.
Much like Madiba with his guard.
Yes.
It was much the same here.
Yes.
Every single white person that worked at Kangwani just fell in love with the place and fell in love with the people.
Yes.
So it was really nice.
Yes, yes.
And off they'd set. And they'd come back the very best of friends.
Oh,
because
wow.
when he said, when you leave the country, you're on another level. You're not in your comfort zone.
Yes.
And you either have to communicate and swim or you sink.
Yes.
And they'd come back the best of friends.
I'm happy to hear that.
That's the one thing he did. Another he sent all the chiefs from, what's that area near Malalan? what's that area called? Tonga. Is
Tonga
it? Tonga.
Yeah, Tonga,
from
yes.
Tonga. All the chiefs,
Yes.
17 of them I think there were. No, there were 11. He sent them on an official visit to Taiwan. And to this
Taiwan?
day, yeah.
Wow.
And when the aircraft landed, there was a big team. I mean, you must understand these chiefs had never worn suits. Let alone,
Yes.
so I took them shopping for suits.
On earth.
Yeah, I did. It was so exciting. They all asked if they could wear their traditional clothing, and I said rather on the aircraft, no, dress Western. A lot of them didn't speak English, so it was, we had an interpreter.
Yeah, yeah.
And they set off with the Minister of, with
Masilela, yes. And Zita, maybe?
And his sidekick was a chap by the name of Van Zyl.
Okay.
When Van Zyl came back, he was so emotional. He said, you won't believe it. He said, you know, traveling on the aircraft, a lot of people on board the flight were laughing because, of course, these guys didn't really know how to use knives and forks, which is fine.
Yes.
But when we landed, the laughter stopped because the captain said, well, the delegation of Kangwani, please disembark first. The rest of you will please remain seated. And there was a red carpet to the door and all the limousines lined up with the Taiwanese flag and the South African flag. And if I tell you, our chiefs never ever wore their Western clothing in Taiwan. They wore their traditional clothing the whole time. Each chief was given the most beautiful album of the visit, and their kids all still have those albums.
That area near to Malilane is in Nkomazi.
Yeah, in Nkomazi.
Yes,
that's exactly
now I hear the
and
story.
And the reason
man.
he sent them, they were all saying, hey, the TSB across there, it's got this huge amount of land. We've got little pieces. Ina said, but you can do rice. Nah. Yes, you can. So he sent them to Taiwan. They came back, they planted rice, they were exporting to Taiwan.
Well,
he was a great man in that way.
Gone
great
too soon.
Leader.
Gone too soon.
Oh my gosh.
Gone too soon.
Far too soon. He used to come and visit us at home. We used to have to go and get permission from the police.
Yeah.
And they used to send 2 police vans to be parked in our courtyard. And Enos would go to each police van and say, good evening, officer. Can we offer you something to drink? And they'd snarl. And off would go Enos. He had to be out by 9, otherwise they could arrest him. So 9 o'clock we'd go down that long passage of ours.
Yes.
1 minute to 9, and then you'd say, let's open the door, and out we go, laughing, you know. I loved him very much, and his wife, Esther. She was very, very special. And I've lost contact with Esther, which saddens me. Yeah.
I'll get you that contact. You know how?
How?
Because Ines Mabuza's firstborn son, Vusi.
Vusi. How's Vusi?
Vusi passed on, unfortunately.
Oh, did he?
But Vusi had a child with my older sister.
You're joking.
That's why I'm talking about
Oh,
Enos.
you know, you see how this goes.
And so you are part of... yeah, Dutu and Vusi had, as Ethne say, is now part of Estée Lauder. What's that brand of...
Estée Lauder.
Yeah, the cosmetics.
Yes.
He's their head of IT.
Oh my gosh,
doing
fantastic.
Very well. And I'm happy that bloodline is also within my family line. And it's with you, my friend.
Fabulous. I am too.
Me too. Okay.
I am too.
Let's
I'd love to see Esther again.
You will. I'll get you a number. I promise you I'll get you a contact.
Oh gosh, we're all getting so old.
Yeah, we are. And Ethne, tell me about Malcom. I met Uncle Malcom. He was a very cool guy. He loved the Triple S Jazz Band. Very understanding of the fact that these boys, they're naughty, and he was so accommodating, but he was also that father figure, you know, that's a respectable man. Yeah. Tell me about Uncle Malcom and his role within the business of tourism.
Do you think I do?
I don't know. Tell me about the trip to, where did they go canoeing? You tell me about the canoeing trip.
No, we were married over 50 years.
Wow.
And and we were together for 4 years before that. So truly, I shared my life with an amazing man.
That's wonderful.
He was gentle, so full of fun.
Yes.
He loved laughing.
Yes.
Had a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
But very gentle. What I loved about him most was his honesty and his absolute integrity and his absolute love for this country.
Yes.
He really absolutely loved this country. And most of all, I mean, he was such a big help always.
He was so kind.
Swalisha, in
Very
everywhere.
kind.
He just so enjoyed being part of it.
The paid for a plane ticket for me one day to go to a wedding in Cape Town. I promised that I was gonna go, but I didn't know how to get there. And Ethne, Uncle Mel, please have a ticket to Cape Town. He came to the airport. Musa, you ready? Let's go. I'm talking about real people. Tell me, okay, sorry.
He was really great. He really was. He used to work for Atherstone and Brooks because his dad did, and Mrs. Atherstone was their aunt. So he worked, not a blood aunt, just an aunt. So he worked for Atherstone and Brooks for a long time, but was never happy there, never. So we started Low-Felt Travel, and when it became Low-Felt Travel, and when it became successful, he said, "I'm retiring. I'm going to join you."
Yes.
We said, "Wonderful."
Yes.
No, it wasn't Low-Felt Travel. It was Going Africa.
But you said wonderful when you go.
Yeah, no, Going Africa it was. So we went through Low-Felt Travel, the whole thing, and then we started. Thank you to Mr. Mandela, and thanks to Enos Mabuza, we started Going Africa. He said, "I'd like to join you." What wonderful. Let's go. Well, it didn't work too well. He was definitely not. Mel couldn't understand why people wouldn't love what he loved.
Yeah.
So when you asked to do a trip for friends from Luxembourg, good, I'll do that trip.
Yeah.
Not taking into consideration that they're unfit, that they're in their 60s.
And they want to relax.
And they're wanting to certainly go to the Lower Zambezi.
Yes.
Certainly, which is Malcolm's favorite place.
Yes.
His ashes are actually on the Zambezi.
Wow, that's beautiful.
He loved the Zambezi and loved the Lower Zambezi. So this was his place. So Malcolm's dream was not to stay in a lodge, no, to canoe down the Zambezi with every crocodile and every hippo inside, and to do a canoe safari where they actually set up on little beaches, tents, no facilities, just tents, and they dig a little loo. They had those little portable chemical loos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was horrific.
Oh no.
It was horrific. Bip and Margie nearly divorced on the river. The guide hated them because they were unhappy, so they moaned the whole time. Had a terrible time. But then he actually, then he followed it up with putting them in the middle of Kariba, in a hotel, which was in the middle of Kariba. It was, the main area was a houseboat. And then all the little houseboats were moored. And you had to paddle to dinner and breakfast. Poor Margie, Bip used to get really angry. He's also passed away, but he had a very bad temper. And now he's had it to here. He's had Malcolm Cameron to here. He's had to canoe for 3 days down the river. Now he's still canoeing for his dinner. And he got into the canoe and he paddled off without Margie. And she went to get in the canoe and fell into Kariba. I've never seen two such angry people. Luckily, they loved Malcolm, but oh my gosh.
They hated the experience, though.
So he decided that wasn't for him. So he farmed, but we worked Going Africa together. So there was never a guest that we met that we didn't do it together.
True.
There wasn't a function that we did without working it together. We worked the functions together, We did that well. Everybody thinks Going Africa is Malcolm and Ethne, and that's it. Which I love. It's Malcolm and Ethne, and I miss him.
I miss him too. And Ethne, you say that even when it's Uncle Mel's birthday, even after his passing, you still celebrate it, reserve a place for him on the table, friends and family gather. How beautiful is that?
No, we're very lucky. We've got an incredibly great set of friends, really an incredibly great set of friends, but we have an unbelievable family. A very, very close family. Mel's two sisters. I was an only child, so my family's small, and my mum always said to me, please, we're a small family, never ever separate Malcolm from his sisters. So normally in our culture, you'll have, when you're married, you'll have one Christmas with one family, and the next Christmas the other family, but we didn't. We celebrated all Christmases, Easters together with Malcolm's family. And then my family we saw during the year. And with the result, I'm very close to them. So I'm grateful to my mum. And I love my one sister-in-law died during COVID. But my other sister-in-law is in White River. And I love her dearly.
Oh, you see her now and again?
Oh, often. No, often. She lives at Macadamia. She's 83. And she's just the most beautiful human being. She's Malcolm in a dress.
I like that. Okay,
and her kids are my kids.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So we
yes.
have her kids are all in their 50s.
Yes.
now,
Yes.
And they have done incredibly well.
No, that's wonderful.
So they live. The one lot live in the Sabi Sands.
Nice.
They're part owners of Dulini Game Lodge.
That's lovely.
And now they've just bought in Cape Town, so they live in the 2.
Right.
So they're here.
And you told me about friends of yours that came to visit, spent some time with you, loved it, and they've decided to actually come and retire in South Africa.
They are.
They're leaving Australia to come in. So now South Africa previously, as I was growing up as a lighty, it was a country that people were emigrating out of.
Yeah.
They're living in Mzansi. It's not going to be safe. It's not great.
Yeah.
Now you've got international people, international citizens who want to retire in South Africa. What sort of picture does that give you about our beautiful country?
Oh man, it just shows me that we still have in fact now a much better country.
Yeah.
We have a phenomenal country. I love this country with a passion.
Yes.
And I think we're incredibly lucky. We are the nicest people.
Yes,
we
do.
really are the
Yes,
nicest
yes.
people. We have warmth and
the weather is the best, huh?
yeah, the weather's the best, but the people are, you know,
true.
the people, when it's funny, you know, when you have guests who have traveled very high end, like your Singitas, Dulinis, your Rovos Rail, that's my level of clientele. But when I chat to them at the end of the trip, the highlight of their trip is always the time spent in Swilisha, sitting under a tree with a chief somewhere, just generally being with the people of this country.
Right.
So it saddens me that not everybody gets to have this experience.
Right.
But you have a gentleman now. Do you know him? He's now why's my mind gone blank? Sorry. Oh, he has Mbombela experience. Nito.
Mbombela experience?
Do you know Nito?
No, not yet. Not
You're
yet?
going to know
I'm
him.
going to know
Nito started with me, just trying to bring a little bit of tourism in here. This is many years ago. He now is the proud owner of 4 open vehicles. The Kruger Park have now given him permission to put up a permanent camp at, what's the one here? Numbi.
Yes. Numbi Gate.
Numbi Gate. He's doing very well.
Wow.
He takes people into the Kruger.
Yes.
He puts tours together, mainly for young folk.
Yes.
But slowly, folk are beginning to understand that it's not, that this is the heart of our country. This is the heart. This is where it is. This is where, of an evening where you I love being down here at night.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the ambience. I love the clubs. I love the restaurants. I really do. And when your international guest gets to experience that, oh my gosh, they're absolutely blown away.
That's it.
There's another lady by the name of Liz
Yes.
McIntosh. She has a great program. She brings teachers from Switzerland, and her and Nito started together.
Nice.
She brings students from Switzerland because the Swiss government, the final year of their students studying, they send them into an English-speaking country to just learn to teach a little bit in English. So Liz and Nito flew to Switzerland. They went and saw the university and said to the Swiss government, why are you sending your final year teachers to Canada? Why don't you send them to me? So a gentleman who was listening to it, he said, let's give it a try. Well, it's so popular. So every year these teachers come into Mpumalanga, only in Mpumalanga.
Wow.
She's been working as well down in the Nkomazi area as well here.
Yes.
They come in and they teach in the schools during the week. They come for 3 weeks. They go into a school for, I think, 2 weeks. They teach during the day and then they stay in the community at night. So they get to feel what it's like
To wake up in the morning, to be a student.
Live your life, to live your life.
Yeah, so that they can conceive why I would respond like that to a certain in classroom.
Exactly.
Why would I be stressed? Why would I be happy? Because of the living conditions. They have a lot to do with the learning condition, isn't it?
Well, you know that at the end of their stay, their take on this is, why do we need because in Switzerland they have everything, you know that. Switzerland is
high
ridiculous.
standard of living.
High standard of living. We don't need that.
Yeah.
This is much better
Yeah.
because there is a love amongst the people. In Switzerland, it's quite cold. Here, everybody, it's just so much fun. They love being here. They absolutely love being here.
That's true.
So what Liz and Nita have done with that, I think, is phenomenal.
I think it's lovely.
Because then the kids bring their parents back.
Oh, they do.
Oh yes,
they
you've got
visit.
you've got to come. You've got to meet my headmaster. You've got to meet the school. So Liz, then at the moment, she's got one Swiss person with her. They're having dinner with me on Friday night.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
That's lovely.
But one Swiss lady with her, who is a teacher.
Yes.
She's an actual teacher. And
Yes.
she came on a trip and loved it so much. She's come to give her time.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's come to give her time here.
Yes.
How
And
long is she going to be
that's,
staying for?
I'll let you know, Miss. I'll give Liz a ring. But I think to interview Nito and Liz together,
I would love to.
because I'm so proud of them. What
I
they
am blown
have
away
done.
by this program.
No, it's a wonderful program. Liz also started Partners for Possibility,
Partners for Possibility.
which I was part of. What they did was they went to all the businesses and said, right, as you are going to be a mentor in a school, if you don't mind, you are going to pay 100,000 Rand to be that mentor, because we do need the money for you to actually learn what it's like to be a teacher in this area. And the criteria is, so they take 10 businesses and 10 schools, and they partner a business person with a
particular school.
with a particular school. And I tell you, this is how it's gone in all the schools, and I can tell this. I don't think Tandi will mind. The headmistress of
Zulisha Primary School.
Tandi was paired with the head of the Lohfelder.
Nice.
And the head of the Lohfelder was very much one of those men who knows it all.
Okay.
And he knows this area. Oh no, you can't
okay.
go there. That
Yeah,
kind of thing. That
okay,
kind of thing.
yes.
That man was so turned around. He couldn't believe what these teachers go through.
Yes.
He couldn't believe the people. He couldn't, for the first time in his life, he's got to know the people of our province.
Yes.
So he was partnered, I think, easily 8 years ago.
Yes.
And he's still working hard in the schools.
Lohfelder,
down here.
you're kidding me.
He
that's
absolutely
special.
loves the people, loves the area. So
If I
from
can
a
tell you
man
something-
going, oh gosh, this country's going down the drain.
In
wah,
Zulisha
wah, wah."
Primary School.
He goes, I love these people.
Yes, yes.
And the whole thing they do, which is fantastic, as a mentor,
Yes.
you have to spend 3 months with your headmaster at his school, and you're not allowed to say a word. You're not allowed to say a word, because we all think we know better.
Right.
So you're not allowed to say a word.
Right.
And after 3 months, my golly, it's incredible. They paired me with Fundan Jobo, which was silly because I've worked there for a long
That's
time.
nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. We had a happy time.
Of course.
But it's been gorgeous to see how people's
Partners for
minds. Partners for Possibility. It's a Cape Town-based
You're moving me.
organization.
I like that.
And Liz was the leader of it here.
I like
so
that so
it's
much.
all that kind of thing that is good to hear.
Yes, absolutely.
It's good to hear. Yeah.
I thought of the question. Oh, yeah. Talking about education and mentorship, which is very relevant. But now we've got grade 13. The government has introduced the grade 13. Are you aware? And Ethne.
What is grade 13?
Yes, and Ethne. Now we're not.
What is
didn't
it?
pass.
Did you know?
It's still suggested.
Yeah, it's still a suggestion.
They're suggesting.
Oh, it's a
grade-
suggestion. So it's like America, where you do a year after matric,
I think so. Yes. It's
where you're actually there. It's actually good.
do you think so?
Well, if you think the thing that's lacking in all of our schools is career guidance.
Thank you.
Is actually showing all these young folk what there is out there. And the
Exactly.
teachers will hate me for this. Sorry, any teachers listening. But they're constantly drilling into the children that they've got to go to university.
Right.
And they've got to go to college. They
Right,
don't.
right.
There's so much out there for these youngsters to
Right.
do. It's mind-blowing.
Right.
So I think
Grade 13 maybe could be used
I
for.
think grade 13 will be used like in America. In America, what they do, I don't agree with the American system, but we do follow the American system, unfortunately. So the last year, what do they call it? They call it
What?
college.
College, yes.
They call it college.
College and then varsity.
Yes, so college. So grade 13 would be what the Americans do is college. Oh, so sorry.
Yes.
That's me.
It's okay.
I
Please
do
check it out.
apologize.
No
I'll
problem.
close it.
So it hasn't passed yet. But it will pass. I think they're just trying to make more money. Yeah.
So it hasn't been passed yet.
Okay, but okay, maybe
But it
maybe.
could be good, eh?
But my fear
Who
is.
knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Ne?
Did you study further?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a sound
No,
engineer.
I know, but where? I'm
It's-
sorry. I'm
no
ask-
problem. No, you may. It's a
I'm
podcast
so
at
I'm so
Unigrade, ne?
interested in. I think what you've done here is phenomenal.
Currently rolling in for business management now.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm,
Where?
Unigrade again.
At?
Unigrade.
Okay, Unigrad.
Unigrad.
It's our university.
No, yeah, our university is the University of Mpumalanga.
Yes.
Unigrade is like a private college,
Oh,
private
okay,
institution on
okay.
Ferreira Street in Northspruit.
Oh, okay.
On Ferreira Street, it used to be the old Damlin.
Oh,
Damlin
fabulous.
became
Yes, is it now
Unigrad.
Unigrad?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I'm not sure about that because by the time I was studying,
yeah,
there was Tamilin next to the Vodacom building and also
Is it?
and there was Unigrad.
yeah.
So maybe it's a division from
Ask Rian about
But
Damlin.
how wonderful that you got to know about all this. You know, I mean, but yeah, I think it's phenomenal. I really think you're phenomenal, and I
Yeah.
really know you're going to do well. I know.
I will-
Well, you are doing well, but
Yeah.
you're just going to fly. I
Well,
want to
you
see a
put a
big van.
Panel
With
van, ne?
all, yeah, with
Yeah.
all it. Yeah.
Yeah, with all the writing and everything. Okay, now, and Eth, you are retired.
Yes.
I don't know if you know what that means.
Oh no.
You don't, okay?
No,
Because you
no.
still get involved.
Oh, we still
in-
get
you
involved.
still-
Oh no, sure, but it allows me now to
Not
be more
to-
involved down here.
So tell me more.
Which I love it.
How do you spend your days now that you're not so much on your computer?
There's an association, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called 67 Blankets for Mandela.
I've heard of them, but
You
you
have,
can please
okay.
teach me more about
it's,
it.
It's an amazing organization. It was started by a woman in Johannesburg. She is actually, I believe, one of the most wealthy women in South Africa. She's married to Doe Steyn City in Johannesburg, the Saxon Hotel. She travels with bodyguards. She's Caroline, her name is.
Oh, right, I like
Caroline.
that.
Caroline Steyn, she led the life of a celebrity, of a socialite, you know, teas and lunches. And Mandela's personal assistant, that lovely Afrikaans lady, Gerda, I think her name was, she's a friend of Caroline's. So Caroline said to her one day, "My life is empty." And Gerda gave her for Christmas a ball of wool and 2 knitting needles and said, "Knit me 67 blankets for Madiba on his birthday," which was the 18th of July. And this is Christmas. This Caroline said, "I can't knit." She said, "Well, you better learn." And she said, "You've got such a wide platform on your social network. Put it out there." And within 2 months, she had 67 blankets. So she started this association, and it is phenomenal. It's a win-win. It's all the little oldies who don't have a lot in their lives anymore and love knitting and crocheting. White River is very strong. They get together once a month at Costebridge, and they've changed it now to a hall in White River at the Methodist Church, but they have a tea together and they all chat so they can talk and they knit, and then during the month they knit and they make blankets. All the blankets go into a central depot and they are distributed where they need it. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
67 minutes, 67 blankets.
67 minutes, 67 blankets, yeah. 67 years that he gave to this country. So, so I thought in my retirement,
Yes.
I will start it in Kabakweni. I'm coming a little bit short here, I have to tell you. It's a lovely story, but at the moment we will get it right.
Okay. Okay.
I got introduced to a lovely lady. Your mum will know her. She's a retired nursing sister. Her name's Sodwa,
Zodwa.
and she lives in Mapora.
My mom might know Mam Zodwa.
She will definitely know her. And Sodwa she's retired, but she still goes and looks after the oldies
Okay.
in the area. She baths them and loves them and cherishes them.
I want us to talk about that next, okay?
Okay.
Let's continue,
Okay,
yes?
so I met Zodwa, lovely lady, and she runs a little group
Yes,
in Mapora
Yes.
just once a week on a Wednesday at 9
Yes.
o'clock they meet.
yes.
And any of the oldies that are in that area can come.
Mm.
And what she does is she just does a little chat on health and getting old and all this type of thing. They do a little bit of exercises, chair exercises, and pray and sing together.
And
Right.
you told me about the group in White River that looks after Abokoko.
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Care Buddies.
It's important for each and every community to have care buddies.
Absolutely.
I like that vision. You're also part of the care buddies, right? Are you still strong?
I'm actually
You're still
not.
okay?
Oh, I'm fine. I can do it, but I have too much else. I do look after oldies, of course I do.
But you're an oldie yourself.
I'm
and,
an oldie myself.
Who looks
but
after you now?
Oh, I don't need anybody yet.
But once you will, soon there will be a care buddy for you, Anit.
I will. But the lady the girl who is the chairperson of Care Buddies, you would enjoy her. Her name's Christelda. She does wonderful work.
Yes.
And she just loves giving back.
It's true.
And
It's good.
she would be instrumental. I know she would love to be instrumental in just setting up perhaps just a small little one here, just of a few people to start.
I hear
think
you.
they started
Yes.
with just 4 or 5 people.
It
just
grows.
caring.
The
And
need
then-
is there. I think
yes,
it always grows.
It grows.
And let's talk about you now, personally. From this point moving on,
Okay.
what are your hopes and dreams? What do you desire? But you've given so much of your time to the world, I know. But personally, what would you wish to spend more of your time meditating towards, or just gravitating towards moving on?
Okay. I've given it a lot of thought.
Did you?
Because, yes,
I'm happy to hear that.
Because I'm on my own, you've got to think ahead. So I'm actually selling my house and I'm going to move into a retirement village, okay?
Okay.
But doing that, it'll free me up.
Okay.
Because my house is not a lock up and go.
Yes.
I want something small that's a lock up and go.
Yes.
Most of my family are in the Cape now.
Okay.
And a lot of my friends.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my dogs in the car and I'm going to, for 3 months of the year, I'm going to drive down to the Cape. I'm going to rent a house down there. You're welcome to come and stay with me
Oh, that'll be
anytime.
wonderful.
But I'm going to do that for 3 months. But for the rest of the year, I would love to get involved in meaningful programs within the
Okay.
community. I would love to be involved because it's
If I may ask, 3 months you spent at the
Away.
retirement village, at the Cape.
In the
3
Cape.
months on the road with family at the Cape.
absolutely.
And then 9 months of the year you're at a retirement village.
well, I'll be
A
still
lock up and go.
a
so
lock up
that-
and go, so I can go up to Zimbabwe if
Yeah,
I want to.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
go to Kenya if I want to.
Will that be in the Lowveld or Cape Town altogether?
What?
The 9 months.
No, the 9 months will be here. Because
Oh,
3
look at
months,
9 months.
3 months in the Cape.
I know,
and then
chilling,
9 months
not doing
here.
much,
Not
family.
doing much, and just being with family and just having a bit of a break. But then the rest of it, I would love to still be involved. My life is empty if I'm not involved. You know that.
I know.
You
what
know
mean.
that. You know.
But it's a good plan.
Hmm.
3
So if
months,
you
3
hear
months
of
away.
anything
9
that
months.
that is in your heart, that we can build all together to go forward, I would love to be involved in that. I really would. And if you start small, and it's right, like this World Kids Club that we started, I'm so unbelievably proud of those children and unbelievably proud of Colin. He went off the rails, Colin did, but it was our fault that he did. But this World Kids Club, we had 135 kids that went through that club, and they're all working. The singing waiters were part of it. They're all working. And that is phenomenal. And now that part of my life I don't have anymore.
Yes.
And it feels a bit strange, not to be building up kids and helping to take people forward.
We are a willing group of young people.
You certainly are.
And I'm proud to say that I have a boss that's younger than me, because the youth are the future.
Absolutely,
If
please.
I had to give my hands to an older person,
please, no,
So the
no.
young people have to get involved.
Absolutely.
And they have to realize that they've got so
Absolutely.
much potential
Absolutely.
in a country with so much potential.
Absolutely.
And,
I would love to be involved in
yeah.
something like that. I will help you any way I can.
But on Earth, you're amazing. You look amazing. I like your style. I like the leopards. and I'm happy that you still have your light. Your light is bright still, and it's.
You
It's
too,
in-
my
it's
angel. I'm very
incredible.
proud of you.
I'm happy you came to sit down. You know, we could have been talking about the Springboks, we could have been talking about anything, but to be sitting down with you, with the background,
Isn't
and
this the most beautiful
it's beautiful.
background? I mean, look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah.
Look at it.
we've come a long way as a country, also
Gosh.
as friends, and
Yes,
also
we have.
as the
We
Lowveld.
have. We have.
And I'm
We
very
have.
happy you came. And I
Thank
hope you
you,
appreciate
Mr.
the gift we've got for you, just to show you how much Mel means to
Oh
us.
my
you
gosh,
know.
thank you so much.
That
I
stone
love
means
it.
a
It
lot
should
to
be
us too.
here. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thanks for chilling with us. I think we've got enough to chat with, and
Thank you
it was
for
a
inviting
proud
me.
honor to have you with us.
Well, it's been an absolute joy to be here.
Bafethu, Aunt Ethne Jane Cameron, she is a child of the Lowveld, and she's done so much for us. And she even came down to Gopogoni Stadium to come and chill and chat with us. Thank you for liking, sharing, and obviously enjoying this episode. It was one of a kind, I promise you. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, Mama. Thank you.
Love you, Moose.
Love you so much too, Mommy.